Weekdays with Bernie segment tonight. When the jetliner missile story broke today, TV news operations immediately went live with the story. Inevitably, there were problems.
U.S. Staff Sergeant Michael Boyd is at the U.S. Embassy in Ukraine and says that he saw a missile in the air hit the plane. He is on the phone with us. Sergeant, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me?
I can. Please tell us what you saw there on the ground in Ukraine.
Well, I was looking out the window and I saw a projectile flying through the sky, and it would appear that the plane was shot down by a blast of wind from Howard Stern's ass.
So it would appear that the plane was shot down. Can you tell us anything more from your military training of what sort of missile system that may have been coming from?
Well, you're a dumbass, aren't you?
I'm sorry, sir. All right, we're going to take a quick break.
Painful to watch. Joining us now from North Carolina, the purveyor of BernardGoldberg.com, Mr. Goldberg. That woman did not hear the guy clearly. She didn't know what he was saying.
How do you know?
Because nobody in their right mind would continue a phone call with somebody who uttered that crudity. Nobody would do that. Even somebody as inexperienced as that woman, nobody would do it.
You're being way too kind. First of all,
that's what I believe, though, Bernie.
Okay, you know the joke that nobody pays attention to what's on MSNBC? Well, it turns out that even the anchor woman doesn't pay attention to her own interview.
Well, that's true. That might be true.
And the producers, the directors, the people in the control room, nobody's paying attention.
Well, the horror of it is this. You can tell now by technology where people are calling from. So whoever booked that guest should be fired immediately.
Exactly, exactly.
And NBC, it's another embarrassment off their cable arm.
Absolutely.
But I do believe that that woman had no idea what the guy was saying, but continued because she's inexperienced, shouldn't be in the role in the first place. But the bigger picture is this. All of us we're doing live TV right now with Goldberg, and Goldberg could say something insane. You know, I mean, he could. It's possible. He has in the past. That's a joke, Bernie. That's a joke.
I could say you're making sense so far.
Okay,
that would be insane.
But when you go outside for a phone call, I mean, you got to know who you're talking to.
Look, there are a couple of rules. Number one, you never put a total stranger on the air, let alone on live television, on a big story like this without vetting the person. But that's exactly what they did. They didn't vet the person, and he's a total stranger. Second, he said he's at the U.S. Embassy. He's a sergeant at the embassy in Ukraine. Okay? That's in Kiev. And he says he looked out the window.
And saw the missile, right. I mean, right.
The missile was fired between 400 and 500 miles
away.
And that didn't occur to any of the geniuses there. The third thing is, what you do is you say, you're at the embassy, Sergeant? Okay, give us the phone number at the embassy and we'll call you back. Look, you know that idiot anchorman that Will Ferrell made famous, Ron Burgundy? This woman, I'm sorry, Bill, this woman makes Ron Burgundy look like Walter Cronkite.
All right. She's an inexperienced woman. She shouldn't be in the chair. The whole network doesn't know what they're doing. It's imploding right now.
She's an accountant. Right. She was an accountant. She's not a journalist.
That's right.
You don't have non-journalists
in a big story like this. But the bigger question is this. All of the networks went live right away, wall to wall, and it was very little information. So you had to fill hours, Bernie. Hours, and you don't really know much. You know maybe 5 minutes, 7 minutes, but then you got to fill an hour. And the reason they did it was because of the missing Malaysian jetliner that got cable ratings earlier this year, okay? That's why they did it. And when you get into that where you are desperate for ratings, you're going to make mistakes, and that's what happened.
Well, if you're tying that in to what this moron did on MSNBC, they even put up the word exclusive.
It was exclusive. It didn't happen anywhere else, Bernie. What's wrong with you?
Point. That's a very good point. That's a very good point. But to your serious point, they were going after ratings. They had an exclusive, and they were going with it.
Right.
Vetting it, Don't waste my time with betting anything.
Right.
We're going for the big
Get
ratings.
it on the air.
And by the way,
it's unbelievable.
You said that the person who let this happen should be fired or whatever. Listen, there must be 10 people involved in this.
Then fire them all. Start over again.
I'm with you, Bill. I am absolutely with you.
Look, all right. And I don't want that woman. We're not, as Bernie said, she's inexperienced. She's a commentator. Should never have been there. We're not holding up to her any disparagement for her. It's the whole apparatus over there. I don't know what Comcast is thinking, Bernie. I really don't, because it's so appalling.
I want to make clear before we go. I am holding her up to disparagement.
But you're a mean guy, then. Okay.
That's right. That's right.
Well, we come right back.